The internal development means that we solve some of our problems so that the countries may help the third world because they don't have any more of their own problems. We will also given a great thought to so to say self-preservation. We think that we need to educate people of the third world to self-preserve themselves. They can educate them to work, fish, or some other job, and they can spread the education further. So the third world countries don't have to be so dependent on the European Union, but they can depend on themselves. The internal development of the European Union is very important, and we agreed that it should be funded with part of the funds going to the third world. So it developed, and infrastructural development of the third world is needed. Hospitals, schools, and all the other buildings are needed, but not as much as the right people to use them. We need to educate the right people to use the help they are given.
These funds are both for third world countries and for European countries. So we are focusing not only on Europe, that we should be solving the problems that in Europe, and we are also solving problems in another side of the world. We are doing two things at the same time. Shouldn't we primarily focus on European countries and help financially develop and give those infrastructures to the European countries instead of going to the third world when Europe has a lot of problems of its own?
So yes, we are solving two problems at once, but let's say we focus just on our internal problems. Then what you have? The third world is heavily dependent on the European funding. If we withdraw that funds for our internal development, the problems can be solved in a month, 2 months, or a year. But the third world is left with nothing. They have nothing and they rot. If they rot, riots, wars, they come out. That's a world problem. It's not just their problem. So we have to manage and develop them and us. We can't just focus on one thing primarily. Let's say we focus on the third world. Europe rots, chaos, riots, maybe wars. At this point, it's not easy to focus on one thing, so it probably would be a wrong move.
We attributed some of our problems to Euroscepticism. According to a survey from 2013, the asked people said that the 42% of the asked people said that they believe that the EU is serving their country's needs, which is a really scary fact in my opinion. So we tried to work on this problem, and we came to the conclusion that it is a problem which should be dealt when the citizens of the EU are at a tender age, so mostly in schools. And we decided that maybe an alteration in the school curriculum should be made in every country.
At the beginning of your speech, you mentioned the young people and reaching them by education. But from many surveys, we can see that the most skeptical ones are actually the people in their 30s or their 40s, actually the working class in their productivity. And I would like to ask, how are you planning to reach this group, which is actually able to vote and they feel like they have no influence on on EU, and that EU is doing nothing for them? Thank you.
Well, we planned to use the media for that, because we see many things in the TV, and as I've said before, using the extremes, like either shocking someone or showing something good or showing something disgusting or something delicious, we can grasp different types of people. Those who get affected by the disgust they feel or get affected by the deliciousness of something. So we wanted to reach older generations via the media. so with advertisement and such.